Welcome everyone, welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon, and we'll be checking out Drone Swarm by Still Alive Studios. I have been looking forward to this I never actually noticed this. You can play around with the swarm with your mouse in the main menu. Only the center. There you go. They avoid the mouse. That's pretty cool, actually. I never noticed that. Anyway, yeah, by Still Alive Studios. I've been looking forward to this game for quite a while now. And I won't be showing you my current game. We'll be starting a new game because the developer has asked us not to show anything past Chapter 5, which I'm assuming is Day 5. So I'm just going to start a new game, but you'll get the gist of it. And I've been looking forward to it because I'm a huge fan of the Homeworld series, both the original ones, which I've played many years ago, as well as the remastered ones. And I'm just a real fan of that sort of mix of real-time strategy, sci-fi, 3D space, and mystery story stuff. It's just a perfect combination. So I thought this was going to be a great fit. And look at all these swarms. So this has obviously the really interesting mechanic of piloting this large ship, which does not really use conventional weapons, but uses a bunch of swarms, 32,000 of them to be exact. Let's do the preview input profile. Sorry, profile name. Drone Swarm is a different take on strategy games. The Swarm offers a great amount of versatility. Experiment, Captain Carter.
January 21st, 2111. A date I will never forget. The day the sphere appeared in our orbit. We were not ready. Out of options, we unleashed every nuke we had. We only succeeded in destroying our own planet. Boys with bows and arrows. The last remnants of Earth tried to resist, tried to survive. So did my brother and I, but it was hopeless. Yet, we kept fighting, until that one fateful day, when he subconsciously transferred his soul into a drone. Turns out, Aiden was the key. Because of him, Eva sensed our way out. Through the sphere, she initiated the Great Sacrifice. 32,000 human psionics merged their soul into the swarm that day. Now, ours to command, we used the swarm to rebuild. But it was too late. Earth was lost. Eva studied the sphere with her powers and found a way to build our first interstellar ship, the Argo. Powered by the sphere, protected by the swarm. On it, 32,000 human souls locked in stasis. But power attracts power, and the Vor were drawn to the energy of the sphere. They could not have it. The swarm. It was like trying to control a tornado. Some say we should have died along with our planet. I say, this is our chance to start anew. My name is Carter, Captain of the Argo, and we will find New Earth.
You'll see me comparing this game to Homeworld series quite a bit.
Jump successful. We just entered a new cluster and are ready for scanning, Captain.
I hope we find a suitable planet fast. Earth is running out of time. We need a new home.
Which is kind of weird because, as you'll see, much to my great disappointment, however, this is, partly my fault, is that this is nothing like the Homeworld series. It's not really what you would call the real-time strategy game. It's more like a mix between...
Unknown vessel, this is the Argo. Okay. Cease fire, we come in peace. No response, Captain. Battle stations.
A mix between arcade and okay, let's do this. Arcade and Fruit Ninja. I've never actually played Fruit Ninja, but I've seen it. So this is how you attack.
The swarm is ripping them apart.
So here's the good part. You can see that...
More energy signatures.
Okay.
Remember, Carter, you can use the swarm defensively as well.
So yeah, you can use the swarm offensively, and you can use it defensively by building, by using W. Come on. There you go. By building walls. And of course, that uses up your available drone numbers.
Careful, Captain. They may punch through the wall.
Alright, so we basically just attack them a few times.
More incoming. No problem for me.
So right now, this was pretty easy. Because, well, these guys don't really present much of a threat. But of course, they also move about, which means that your walls won't be completely effective all the time. So anyway, like I said, the good part is that the drone swarms look great. They move in a very organic way, as you can see.
That was it. System cleared.
I don't feel particularly welcome.
And I think the whole aesthetic of the drones looks excellent. This was one of the reasons why this game piqued my interest when I first seen it. So when you finish a mission, you get presented with this. Okay, we'll just skip all that. You get presented with a map. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I'm just trying not to talk over the actual speech because that's one of the other things I'm going to comment on. But you get presented with a map where, unlike in the Homeworld series, where it's a linear progression, you actually get to choose where you go. Although most of the time it is a linear progression. You only get to sort of a crossroads there where you can then weirdly jump to other places without them being connected, even though the game implies with these connections here that they should be connected, but then you figure out that that's actually not the case. You can just go from here to here. And yeah. So let's select this. It'll tell us that this place has a blue nebula, which has no system-wide effect. Some of the systems have an effect where enemies will do more damage, and so on and so forth, and the threat level is 1, of course. So our main mission is to go around and scan planets for a suitable candidate, where we will find a planet which can support human life, because obviously Earth is kind of in a bad way. So over here we have the Argo hull integrity. If this reaches 0, you lose, obviously. That's reset between every mission. And the total drone count, 32,000. That doesn't really mean much. You want this bar, which will tell you how many drones you have on your disposal. So if you do walls and stuff, obviously you won't have as many drones to attack with, and so on and so forth. Inconclusive.
Captain, there's already someone here. Sensors are showing it's the same type of ship that attacked the Argo back at Earth.
Let's
They
engage.
sent us a message. Translating.
Unknown vessel, you are in Vor territory. Leave or be fired upon.
This is bad news, Captain. We cannot leave without scanning the system.
Not really sure why not. I mean, the Earth depends on it, so we should just leave.
No idle threat, then.
Alright, so they're already attacking, and we want to attack them. So, one of the problems you'll see is that the enemy ships obviously move.
That's it? Could have been worse.
Now, that's not a huge problem, because of course it adds to the challenge.
I just had to jinx it, didn't I?
But the problem is, your swarm takes a bit of time getting to its destination. Which of course means that when your swarm gets there, the enemy ships might already have moved. Just make a few more here.
All of this just because we trespassed. Let's do what we came for and leave.
The biggest problem is that when the enemy ships move about and you have a lot of stuff to do, it's often very difficult to actually see where the enemy ships are exactly, because this is a what was that? 3D, quasi 3D plane. Everything is 3D, but everything happens on a 2D plane. So there's no actual Y movement here. Well, sorry, there's no actually Z movement here in the coordinates. It's just X and Y. But that means that when the ships are moving and you're trying to hit something, for example, maybe the ship appears to be here on this line, but if you move your camera here, the ship will appear to be there. So you'll be clicking here and actually not hitting the ship because it'll be on this area. That's just something that's quite annoying. They should add like little blips where it tells you exactly where you need to press your mouse button to attack. Also, you can do weird stuff. Oh yeah, it can only be a certain size, these paths. But yeah, this looks pretty cool with the drones. Anyway, let's initiate a scan, which is always this little loading bar. It's kind of pointless. That's another thing. The UI seems a little bit beta, in my opinion. Might get
Captain,
improved.
I've finished compiling the data on the enemy. It's the Vor. They're indeed the ones who attacked us back home, and who are technologically superior to humanity.
Highly advanced. Still no match for us. Right, Aiden?
Indeed, brother.
Anyway, their ships are heavily armored and employ high-tech missile-based weaponry. What we have, thanks to the drones, is our maneuverability. So let's use that to our advantage.
So as you progress through the game, you'll see different types of enemies and different types of ships. Some will use missiles, some will use lasers, and so on and so forth, presenting different challenges. So between the combats, you get this little thing where it says how many you've destroyed of what, and how many skill points you get. And if you get to the end of this loading bar thingy, you of course get a skill point, which you can use for upgrades. You can use upgrades to attach to your ship, skills for the drones, permanent skills, and so on and so forth. Right now, we've got the Psionic Buster and the Burst Projector and the Railgun, which I still haven't actually figured out how to use. It doesn't actually tell you what key to use for that, so I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, navigation. There. This is a blue nebula, no system-wide effect, jump. Scanning target system, it's going to be inconclusive or uninhabitable. Inconclusive. Close-range scans required.
Oh, great. The Vor again. Already in position.
A welcome committee just for us? Aw, they shouldn't have.
Here's one of the things I really enjoyed in the Homeworld series. I know I'm comparing sort of oranges to apples here because this really isn't a Homeworld type game. It's, like I said, more like an arcade Fruit Ninja type sci-fi thingy. But one of the things I really truly enjoyed there was the tension. When you jump to a new system, you never really knew entirely what to expect. You didn't know where the enemy was exactly a lot of the times, or what kind of dangers you would see. You could also explore the area and find all sorts of weird and odd things. It was really, it added to the tension and the mystery. Unfortunately here, you just jump in, you fight off a lot of stuff immediately, and that's pretty much it.
Let's try this again. Vor ship, this is the Argo. We're here to scan the system's planets, nothing else. But we will defend ourselves.
You are trespassing without permission of our Empress. We cannot tolerate that.
I'm under the impression that this will become a running theme with these Vor aliens.
The swarm is being decimated.
What do you mean we're being decimated?
Here's to hoping we were done.
So now they go from all sides. So once you zoom out like this, it's a little bit more difficult to see where everything is coming from. And of course you cannot put walls everywhere because you will lose the amount of swarm you have available. So instead of this being a really strategic thing, I feel, it really is more of a fast clicker. You click things fast, and
all right, Captain. System clear.
The problem is, a lot of the times when you're doing this, despite the fact that I really don't find the story very engaging, unfortunately, even though it sounds like it should be, you know, like almost heart-tugging because you're sort of the last hope for humanity and you're going around searching for a habitable planet. I don't know, I've never really felt invested because these Vor enemies and the other enemies that you meet you just sort of jump in. Oh, look, it's a new enemy. Hello, we come in peace. Okay, let's kill him now. Bye. And that's it. There's, you know, no mystery to it, really. Everyone says, oh, you're trespassing or whatever. And that's it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a shame, I feel. Obviously, this is not the game I was expecting it to be. But yeah, what's more, magnetic field makes it unsuitable for life. We found a strange energy reading that tripped up some of the sphere's memory banks, though. This will always happen, of course, because that's the excuse for you getting skill points. But yeah, what I wanted to say is, the problem is with pacing here as well. Even if you were invested in the story and you were interested in what they had to say, the thing is... There we go, we got a skill point. The thing is, the game just throws everything at you immediately, and then throws different dialogue at you while you're trying to keep the Argo alive and destroy the enemy ships. So they might be telling you something important part about the story, but you really don't have time to listen to that because you're fighting other stuff. Now, obviously, if you die, if Argo is lost, that just means that you have to replay again. Over here, I haven't actually noticed that you can change the difficulty at any time. That's quite interesting. So we still have no upgrades to do apart from this, but that doesn't actually take skill points. And this says tech rewards available. Complete this mission to gain swarm skills, passive upgrades, or equipable upgrade modules. Click for a detailed list. So we'll get the cannonball, which is quite interesting. You charge up the swarm in an area, and then you point where you want them to go, as you can see, and they bounce stuff around. It's, you know, that's one of the really nice things about this game. It's the swarm mechanics. The swarm is fun. It looks good. It plays great. I just wish...
The sensors show a warship being attacked by... someone else? I'm translating this new faction's language. Hopefully we have more luck with them.
I just wish it was more strategic. I kind of wish it was a proper real-time strategy game, not a clicker like this.
Unknown vessel, this is the Argo. Do not fire. We come in peace.
Of course you are.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the last ship that pretended not to be hostile. We will not fall for the same trick twice.
These are so annoying, by the way. They sort of orbit around your Argo and use their lasers. They're very annoying.
Beware of their lasers. If the swarm diminishes, they will punch right through.
There's more of them warping in.
Brilliant. It's just what we wanted. Come on, get him. You can see the problem, right? I mean, with the enemy ships moving and your swarm actually taking time to get there. See, and now they're moving in a completely different direction. Okay, fine. It's just... I have to say it's not very satisfying, and now I'm just getting destroyed here because I would have to...
We're down to 75% hull
place more
integrity.
walls down.
Now that it's over, who exactly were those aliens?
Destroying ships is not very satisfying, as weird as it sounds. The swarm moves in a very satisfying way. You've seen that in the main menu, for example, it even avoids things that it doesn't want to destroy in a very sort of like
Carter,
viscous
can you
liquid
feel
way.
it? Your psionic power is growing.
Oh yeah, psionic.
I might be able to use that to teach the swarm new capabilities.
Great. We need any edge we can get. How about the Argo? Anything we can do with the alien components we salvaged so far?
Well, after the appropriate research has been conducted, likely. Reverse engineering some of the technology should be viable, so we might retrofit the Argo with it. Just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, the voice acting is another part. It's very... It's poor to mediocre, I would say. Not a fan. And in a game that likes to sort of put weight on its story, yeah, not the best, but I suppose you don't really have to care about the story in this game very much. So yeah, this is a pretty cool skill. Unfortunately, it takes time to charge up, which a lot of the times you don't really have the time to do stuff. But anyway, now we can actually buy some upgrades like the cannonball. Well, we've already learned that. In the void between stars, a mind must establish a concept of space. Focus will compress the swarm around a single point in space, becoming a rock-solid, high-mass sphere you then release in a direction. So yeah, it's kind of weird that all of these swarms are actually... I mean, the swarm is actually just people, or people's souls, as they call them, in there. So I'm assuming their bodies are still in stasis on the ship. They're just psionically connected to the drones, because obviously you you destroy these drones in the process. So, yeah, I don't know. Part of the reason why I'm giving this such a disappointing view is me, because I really was expecting this to be a completely different game, a homeworld-esque game, a strategy game full of mystery and well, strategy and such, not a Fruit Ninja style clicker, which it essentially is. It can still be enjoyable, of course, if you enjoy these types of games, but it's just too disappointing for me on many levels. Voice acting, story, delivery, pacing, graphically as well. When I first saw the swarm graphically in screenshots and videos, I was like, wow, this looks really good. This is gonna be awesome. But then you look at the enemy ship designs, which you don't really care after a little while. You don't really care for, but they're all sort of blocky like Lego bricks. I don't know. And like I said, the voice acting is pretty mediocre, and the whole thing with just drawing stuff where you want to attack, it doesn't work for me. So personally, I'm gonna give this a not recommended myself. If you like these sorts of type of games where you click on stuff, yeah, you might actually enjoy it. But well, this is not for me. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little preview slash review-ish, even though I didn't get very far, because, you know, that's one of the things. People often accuse me of not playing a game completely through and through when I give a review. Now, granted, you might think that would be a good idea because you would see what everything a game has to show you for. But my philosophy is, if I truly enjoy a game, it will show that quickly. But when I'm actually trying to objectively see what the game has to offer, and I have to kick myself to actually start it up day after day to play it, to see what else it has to offer, just because I don't enjoy it, that tells me enough. That tells me that I cannot recommend it to people who like games like me. I mean, the types of games that I like, or what I was expecting. So I can give you an objective, although limited, view of what I think about the game. So despite the fact that I really haven't played it very much, I've played it to around day 9, I think, or day 10, I've already had enough. It just doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. So anyway, thanks for watching. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.